Hey guys, welcome back to Auto Repair guys. Thank you guys for watching and subscribing to the channel. Today will be super helpful video to any of you having a Hyundai or Kia with a GDI engine guys, and you have a engine light on and code P2187. Stay with us, we'll explain how we can easily fix that. And in some cases you may not need to buy almost anything, just maybe a few cents, okay, for a certain part, and you will be able to fix that problem. Stay with us and we'll explain what we are talking about. Before we start, let me tell you a little bit about us. Every single car we get at the garage, we try to make at least 2 to 300 free repair videos. Why we do that? Simply because our mission at the shop is to save you as much money as we can. All we need in return, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, that way we can keep providing this free information to you. If you need to buy any parts, tools for a good price and quick shipping, check out the link in the description of the video below. That's where we get all our supplies from. With that being said, let's explain what we have specifically here. This is a 2.4 GDI engine that we'll be demonstrating on. Now, many of you have been asking us in the comment section below to share information about the scanner that we recommend here, so that's the one. It works on quite a few vehicles guys, almost every car you can think of. It works on Hyundai, Kia. It can pay itself off in one-time use. I'll put the link in the description of the video below if you want to check the current price and features as well. Now, this is the engine. We took a few things apart so we can demonstrate what we're talking about. That GDI engine, or even if you have a different GDI engine, all of them function about the same. It's direct fuel injection engine, dual overhead, variable timing, 2 camshafts engine as well. Now, on the exhaust side of your engine guys, okay, right here, the first sensor on the exhaust is known as upstream oxygen sensor, or bank 1 sensor 1. Then you have one more like that on the catalytic converter to detect if the catalytic converter is doing its job. But the purpose of the first sensor is to detect if you have rich or lean fuel mixture in the exhaust. It's going to send information to the engine computer, which will adjust how much fuel the car is getting, how much air, so it's efficient, it's running good, okay, it's not polluting, so it's a win-win situation. When you get that code P2187, it means that you have a fuel system that's running lean. So what that means, it means that this oxygen sensor is detecting that you have more oxygen, okay, in the exhaust than you should. As a result, that indicates lean fuel mixture. That can be caused by a bad oxygen sensor in some cases. We have a special video that will explain how to test oxygen sensor, so check it out, how to test oxygen sensor, upstream oxygen sensor, and it will teach you how to do that. Now, number 2 guys, okay, let's explain something else as well. It could be other things. Lean fuel mixture means that, okay, 2 things can happen. One, the engine is getting more air and the same amount of fuel. As a result, that's lean fuel mixture. Or it's getting the same amount of fuel but less, okay, but it's getting the same amount of air but less fuel. That will result into lean fuel mixture again. Let's start with the first scenario. Okay, it's getting more air, the same amount of fuel. That could be caused by vacuum leaks. You have multiple vacuum lines. For instance, you can see right here we have cracked vacuum lines from the purge valve. All that guys, okay, can develop vacuum leaks. Most of the times, okay, those old vacuum hoses will start falling apart, they'll get loose, and that will develop a vacuum leak. We have a special video that talks about vacuum leaks on Hyundai Kia, but vacuum leak is practically extra air the engine is getting, but it doesn't know about that air. So vacuum lines, they crack, they break. That's the number 1 thing that we see for that code, and in that case it will cost you only a few cents to replace certain holes, and you should be able to fix that problem. It could be caused by bad gasket switches, intake manifold gasket, throttle body gasket right here, bad map sensor gasket, loose intake holes as well can cause that one. Now, what else can cause that condition P2187? It could be something else as well. And it could be, guys, okay, to the point that the engine is not getting enough fuel. That could be due to a dirty fuel injector. You have 4 of them. And if the fuel injector is not spraying enough fuel, okay, that will result into lean fuel mixture. Dirty fuel injector, the engine will still, the engine computer will detect it as a working injector, but that could lead to misfires or lean fuel mixture if it's not spraying enough fuel. Number 2, it could be bad fuel rail pressure sensor, because the fuel rail pressure sensor is the one that tells the engine computer the certain amount of pressure that's in the rail, and almost all the time it's supposed to stay the same. I think, don't quote me, I need to check, but I think it's around 400 psi on this one. When I tested it, I have a special video that will explain how to test fuel rail pressure sensor, so you can check it out on a GDI engine. Now, if it's above, let's say this one is not reading correctly, it's sending the wrong information, your engine may not be getting enough pressure here, and as a result the injectors may not be working correctly, and that can lead to lean fuel mixture. Another thing, it could be fuel pump, the high pressure fuel pump that's weak, that's not powerful enough, or the fuel volume sensor is not working correctly and doesn't send the required amount of fuel to the fuel rail. Also, we have another fuel pump that's in the fuel tank, is known as a low pressure fuel pump, and that low pressure fuel pump, if it's weak, it may not supply enough fuel to the high pressure fuel pump. That can cause that condition as well. Another super common thing, it's actually, guys, having a fuel filter that's dirty, and the engine may be starving for fuel, and you can get that condition as well. Those are the most common ones that we see here at the shop. Hopefully the video will be helpful. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.